Hello everybody, I'm George from Ireland. So thanks for coming back to my channel for this live video. I haven't been doing them very much lately, but this video is about Princess Haya of Dubai and her estranged husband, Sheikh Mohammed Al Maktoum. So there's a divorce case ongoing in the United Kingdom. So now the princess, she was born in 1974 into the Jordanian royal family. So Arabic's a native language. She's a Sunni Muslim, just like Sheikh Mohammed. Anyway, she was schooled in the United Kingdom. Latterly, she graduated from Oxford University, and she later married Sheikh Mohammed. He has a number of wives. Remember, as a Mohammedan, he can have up to 4 wives at a time. That's, according to the Hadith by the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings upon him. So he's got an extensive brood of children, being quite a fecund gentleman, a dozen children or so. He has a daughter and a son with Princess Haya. Anyway, so things went wrong in their marriage. But Sheikh Maktoum is a man of considerable consequence, and not just in the United Arab Emirates, of which he's Prime Minister. He's also a major figure in equestrianism, owning stud farms in the UK, owning Godolphin, which is a major horse breeding centre. So a huge figure in the horsey world, and owns almost as much of the UK as the Queen does. But anyway, his wife used to come to Ascot with him. Remember Royal Ascot? Ascot's just west of London, and every June, the middle of June, there's a Royal Ascot week, when the royal family go to that huge race course there, very prestigious week, and then go to the royal enclosure. There's several thousand people, including very estimable personages such as your humble servant has been there. And she would go there, and she would wear what we would consider normal clothes for a Western lady, but for someone from the Gulf states, these are quite daring outfits. Knee-length skirts, and she would not be veiled or not wearing a hijab or anything. She's wearing a hat. You can see some of her hair. I mean, nothing shocking for us, but for some conservative Muslims in that region, what she's wearing would be scandalous. Anyway, so the rumour is that she was having an affair with her British bodyguard, who's about 10 years younger than her. I don't know if that's true or not, but she managed to get both her children actually flee Dubai, fly to London. I don't know how she got away with it, because Prince Mohammed has locked up 2 of his other daughters who've tried to run away. These are women like well into their 20s, and one of them, with her, I think it was Finnish female sports coach, managed to get on a boat, a yacht, and sail across the Arabian Sea, but were intercepted by commandos off the coast of India, brought back, and she's been sort of comfortably imprisoned and things like that. And he's not been confirmed that they're free or anything like that. So it really is it's an absolute monarchy. Okay, Siddharth GK has asked me to say his name, so thanks for tuning in, and get everybody to come along and watch my videos, and you're very welcome to donate a centillion Googleplex of pounds to me on PayPal, georgecallahan79@gmail.com. That's all small letters, GeorgeCallahan79@gmail.com. But back to the case in hand. So she's been here for a couple of years, and she's very worried that she might be kidnapped, might be dragged back. And indeed, one of her stepdaughters was in the UK, and she was abducted and somehow spirited out of the country back to the United Arab Emirates. So Princess Haya said that she feels that he's trying to track her down, and there's been a court case about it, which Prince Mohammed hasn't contested, saying that her phone was hacked, people were spied on, her associates were spied upon. Baroness Fiona Shackleton QC is her solicitor, perhaps the most distinguished family lawyer in the country. So QC behind the name that stands for Queen's Counsel. I believe that she's the one who represented the ex-Beatle Paul McCartney in his divorce case against whatever her name was about 15 years ago. So this is a sort of multi-million pound case as well. So phone hacking obviously is illegal here. A peer of the realm had her phone hacked, and the court found that yes, that Prince Mohammed's minions had done it. And I think he didn't even contest this. He's trying to give it as little publicity as possible. But how badly is the UK willing to fall out with him? Because what if he withdraws all investments in horse racing? It'll have a detrimental effect, a deleterious effect on the economy, certainly in that sector. So he's a man who's very much used to getting his own way and not being questioned by the press. There is no free press in the UAE. All things you can't say, or you can't criticise the royal family, and actually even consulting somebody, you can go to jail for that. There's a British woman on Facebook criticised her husband's new wife and said, you look like a horse. She wrote that when she was in the UK. She later flew to the UAE and was jailed for it. She hadn't even posted this when she was in the United Arab Emirates. So they're very, very touchy. You know, there's no free speech. You really got to watch what you say. But Princess Haya is obviously not feeling that frightened these days because she's appearing in public, walking along the street. I mean, perhaps she's calculated there is so much publicity around this that her ex-husband, or estranged husband rather, wouldn't dare to hack her. Anyway, Cherie Blair, that's Tony Blair's wife, she's taken up the case of Princess Haya. Cherie Blair obviously practices law as Miss Booth, because female barristers, if they're married, they almost invariably practice under their married name. So you're married not as a barrister. If you're a woman, you'll be just known as Miss in professional life. There's also a custody battle about the children who are teenagers. If she had managed to take her with them, then she no doubt would never have seen them again. Because remember, under Sharia law, the mother has custody of children under the age of 7. After the age of 7, the father has custody of all daughters and all sons. That's it. And the UAE is an absolute monarchy, and there are 7 emirates. Dubai is the most populous and the wealthiest. And the Al Maktoum family of Dubai has an agreement with the Al Nahyan family of Abu Dhabi being the capital. So the head of the Al Nahyan family is president of the UAE, and the head of the Maktoum family is prime minister of the UAE. And there are obviously the 5 smaller emirates like Ras Al Khaimah, Fujairah, Sharjah, Al Quwain, and have I forgotten the last one? This is going on. Anyway, Prince Mohammed is obviously not appearing in person and not saying anything about it because he wishes the whole issue would go away. It's acutely embarrassing for him. So he doesn't like his wife running off. Was she really having an affair with that bodyguard? I don't know. It would have been a very dangerous thing to do because theoretically you could be executed for that in the UAE. Having said that, I don't think anyone's been executed for adultery for decades in the UAE, although apparently in Saudi Arabia it happens not infrequently. So Dubai is one of the emirates, as in kingdoms of the UAE, the United Arab Emirates. A bit like the same idea as the United Kingdom. The difference is UAE's got 7 royal families, not 1. Now the Sheikh, he cannot be prosecuted in the UAE because the sovereign is above the law. He's not subject to law. Any crime he commits is not a crime by virtue of his regal blood. So that's it. It's a fascinating case. What will be the upshot of it? I mean, the British courts seem to be more or less persuaded by Princess Haya's case. I wonder how much money she'll win because her husband owns a lot of property in the UAE. So lucky her that she managed to get away. Because you've got to get yourself on a plane and fly 7 hours. I mean, because over Saudi Arabian airspace, you could easily be turned back. Notably, she didn't go to her native Jordan because I suppose she didn't expect that her brother would stand up to pressure because the UAE would demand that she be returned, and presumably he would have caved in. Jordan's not a wealthy country and couldn't afford to offend the UAE for the sake of one woman, even the king's sister. That's enough from me. So book lessons with me. What else? Make sure you watch my British law channel, my English law channel rather, my British poetry channel and so forth. Toodaloo. How do I stop this thing? Stop. I can't stop. Oh yeah, there, stop.